Hello, hello. Welcome. It is day 20 of learning Godot. I kept today very, very simple. I wanted to solve one problem today and then allow us to move forward with any of the other things I want to work on through this. But I'm actually really excited. This is working well. So there are a couple things that I did today just to try and make things look a little nicer. And I spoke about this a little bit as part of the day 19. I wanted my towers to snap to a grid. So, what exactly does that mean? That means if we look at the tile map layer and we go into the 2D, we see we have all these squares here. So, I want this to be how my towers are placed. Not only that, but I want them to be somewhat organized. I want them to be able to identify that there's already a tower there and not slap a second one down. And I did it. So I remembered back to when I was actually adding additional towers to or sorry, not towers, but bullets and enemies. And I remembered in previous games that I made, previous game, the Space Survival, that the enemy container, was being managed through a pool. And I thought about the concept of that and why not start placing my towers in there. Now you see I do have two orphan towers, and fine. I'm going to fix that. So I'm pretty excited. That's the least of my worries right now. Why don't I just place two later? Anyways, the exciting part is that now I am snapping to a grid. This is awesome because now I am playing into what 2D games and grid-based games are, what they can really do for us. If you take a look at the tile set that's already been created, everything is already it's already in place. So I have all of these tiles and I'm snapping them in, right? So it's already a done deal. So let's just take advantage of it. So let me show you real quick what I'm talking about. So if you remember in the game, we have our start menu. I'm just going to breeze over this real quick. We're going to start talking about features one more time, just as a brief reminder. Start menu, start game, quit. And as you can see, I gave myself a ton of money because I want to play. So as part of the tile system, if we look up in the far top left, this is 0, 0. To the right is x coordinate 1, y coordinate 0. And I can go over to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, roughly 5. And then 1, 2, I think 4 or 3 right here. So, we can't click on the path, but I can come down here and click. And let's go ahead and just give ourselves a basic boy. Now, if I click on it again, remember a little bit of a bug that I had before as it was popping up with the shop menu? Well, it knows that there is something already there. Let's click here and add another guy. Oh, I can't click that one. I can't click that one, but I can click that one. And look at that. A bunch of little dudes holding hands. Oh, let me get full screen. You gotta have the full pleasure of this one. And not only that, oh, we can throw little dudes on the side. Oh, I'm so excited. This was really, really cool. Now, there is a little bit of a bug, and I'll show you that real quick. If I click on that one there, you see the other ones are behind. And that's all just because of positioning. So each of these towers, it holds its own panel. So I created the panel to be part of the actual scene for the tower itself. I didn't take into consideration that that I was going to be getting into this. So I might check to see if there is a ordering that I can add on here to bring it straight to the top and maybe make it more part of the UI, which might be something that I'll do with the shop panel as well. But anyways, that this is really cool. Or maybe I'll just make another panel and have it pop around like the shop panel. I don't care. I'm excited. Anyways, let's see. We can throw a boy here. We can throw one here. We can throw one here. I can't throw one here. We're on a path. You can't do that. Or on the edge of a path, but I go outside the path. Oh, I'm so excited. So, effectively to do this, there are a few steps that I was able to find on the interwebs for how to accomplish this. So let's go into when we open up the shop panel. So there's a few things that we need to accomplish. So first of all, we need to understand which cell we are clicking on. So vector 2 is how you get data from your overall position. That's going to be, let's take a look at this. Var ABC vector 2. Let's look at vector 2 real quick. Vector 2 is a floating point coordinates. There's such thing as a vector 2i, and I believe this one is just integer. So this is how we can set our X and Y positions. And that's what the cell right here returns, is this is going to return us our X and Y positions. So we can know exactly where on the tile map we're clicking. So effectively, we get our mouse position, which is where we're clicking. We get the position to local for the map layer. Now I do have divided by 3. There's some weird camera stuff. I've talked about this a little bit before. I need to fix that. And then we are effectively looking on the cell. So in the position on the map, which is local position, what does to local return us? It returns us a node 2D local, which returns us a vector 2. So where on that map, where on the tile map layer are we? And then what is the cell at that location? So once we have that cell, which again, vector 2i, we're going to go ahead and check to see if we have anything there. So that's going to be this. So we check 1. In that cell, is it buildable? Now we had that logic before, so we're not clicking on the path anymore, because we only wanted individuals to be able to click on the grass to put down the towers. The path, it's off limits at this time. Maybe we'll throw a hero or something on there, whatever we want to do, but that is completely out of scope at this time. So it's not buildable, and then we need to check to see if a tower exists. Now, this is where we get into a little bit of that the tower pool that I was talking about. So using the tower pool, I'm creating a dictionary. The dictionary is made up of a vector 2i as the key. That's pretty cool. Anyways, we're using a vector 2i as a key, and then the value is the tower itself. So what we're able to do is exists at tile. I'm just checking to see if something exists. We pass in the tile position, and it's just doing a quick has. That seems pretty easy. Now, the other piece to this, we were storing the mouse position where the user was actually clicking previously in order to open, not only to open the shop at that spot, but we were also storing that position so we can plant the tower at that spot. So we're still using the mouse position to open the shop, which is pretty cool. But we are now storing that vector 2i, and we're going to the tile map layer to check to see the position, the coordinates of where that tile is. So what we're doing is we're doing a map to local with a tile position. So we now have a grid using 2i, vector 2i, and we're figuring out where the spot is, and then we're converting that into a vector 2. So we're able to take a look at where does that cell live, get those coordinates, and then that's where we're putting the tower. So not only are we able to use the vector 2i to be able to identify pretty freaking easily where we're we're using the vector 2i to store as a dictionary as well as to verify if something is there and to place it in a consistent manner that matches up with our tile set. All of that being said, we now have a beautiful landscape of towers that we can throw down, consistent format. We can just line them up hand in hand, and they're just so happy to be together. Look at that. That's that bug I was talking about, but that's cool. I can place another one here and see it's on top. Anyways, that is what I've got for today. I need to take a look at my notes and find out what I have to complete for tomorrow. I may work on that bug, just part of the tiles, and get that panel up top. I'm not worried about that one. I mean, I can click here. I think the only concern I'll have is I click here and I guess I can still click upgrade. That's not a big deal. So there's not a lot of concern with what we have right now. Eventually I'll need to get waves in there. I think I'm just kicking that one down the road. I just need to get to it. Anyways, I'm really excited about this. I think it's awesome. And I hope you enjoy it too. Let me know if you would have done anything different from an implementation standpoint. I think with what I have is pretty simple. I went about one of the simplest routes that I can go, and it's paying off. It works. I'm happy. So, anyways, I hope you have a great day, and thank you for watching.